Dear students, in this video we are going to discuss how the toppers write the paper in the business study, and I have taken the question paper from CBS 2018 as well as the answer sheet with marking scheme, and the code number is 66/1. These three files, that is toppers answer sheet, question paper, and the marking scheme as given by the CBSE, is also available in the description as the link. So you can later download and go through in detail. Here you can see the number of books I have written on the business studies. So now, without making any further delay, we are going to discuss about the paper by a topper, how he or she has it done. So you can see this is basically the question set number, paper set number 66/1. Let's have a look on the instructions. 1 mark question has to be written from one word to one sentence. 3 marks question has to be written in about 50 to 75 words. That means if there are 3 points are to be written, then each point should be written in about 25 words. That is 2 to 3 lines should be used in order to write 1 point. And questions carrying 4 to 5 marks should be written in about 150 words. It means if there are 4 points to be written, then 120 words should be used. It means around 30 words per point should be used. This way you have to write about 3 lines per point. And if there are 5 points to be written in a question, then you have to write again each point for 30 words and about 3 lines in one for 1 point. And if the question is carrying 6 marks and there are 4 points, in that case you have to use about 50 words, and 50 words mean about 5 lines you have to use for 1 point. And if there are 6 points to be written, then in that case about 33 words or 35 words, it means 3 to 4 lines should be used to write 1 point. So on an average, about 30 words or 3 lines as an average may be used in order to write 1 point throughout the answer sheet. Now see, what is the first question? That is the define decentralization. And this is the CBSE marking scheme. Under CBSE marking scheme, you can see that how the marks have been allocated. So here, for this point, you have to, the CBSE will give you 1 mark if you write the correct explanation of the meaning of decentralization. So let's see how the topper has written the answer. You can see that how he has presented the answer. He has given the meaning of decentralization, and he or she has highlighted the important point. And after writing this answer, that is in about 25 to 30 words, then the student has left 1 line. So normally 1 to 2 lines must be left after 1 answer. Now let's come to the second question. The second question is give the meaning of methods as a type of plan. You can see the same question, give the meaning of method as a type of plan. Now I shall be going through the questions from the marking scheme and will be explaining the solution given by the CBSE, and then we will see how the topper has written the answer. So under this answer, again the topper has written the meaning of the method in about 25 words and highlighted the key points. So 1 mark for that explanation. So 1 mark answer may be given in 1 complete sentence. Now the third question. In the third question, here the question is to list first 2 steps which have been followed by Saurabh that are related to the process of one of the functions of management. So here in this question, the process relates to the planning, and under planning, the student is required to write first 2 steps. So here you have to list the first 2 steps. It means you don't need to explain. If you explain, then there is no harm. And one step carries half mark. So now let's see how the topper has written. The topper has written first two steps and the student has not explained it because it was asked to list the name. So whenever it is asked to list the name or whenever it is asked to identify any point, then you don't need to explain. Now let's move to the fourth question. So fourth question is, let's first read the question first. Identify the factor affecting the working capital requirement of industry. So you have to identify only one factor. And just for the identification, you will get 1 mark. So here again, it has not been asked to explain. So when you will go through this question, you will find there are about three different factors in the question itself. So you have to write either of the factor, and CBSE has accepted three different factors. So here you can see one key point is manufacturing. So the factor affecting working capital may be that is the type of business or nature of business, and then you find the keyword time lag between the placing of order and the actual receipt of the raw material. Then it's related to production cycle, and it takes less time in converting it finished goods. Then it's basically production cycle, and the previous one was the availability of raw material. So three factors were given in the question. You have to write one factor only, and if your factor is correct, you will get one full mark. So now let's see what the answer has been given by the topper. This is the fourth question. So under fourth question, you can see here the topper has given the availability of raw material. And he has also explained, though it was not required. But when you explain, then there is no harm at all. If you are in confusion, then it is always better you should explain the points. Now come to the question number 5. Here, question number 5 is regarding identification. Identify the reason why the investor could not invest in the treasury bill. Treasury bill is basically a money market instrument, and this is not in syllabus for this year, so we can skip it. Now, come to question number 6. Why is the understanding of marketing management philosophy important? So we have the 5 different marketing philosophies. So we had to explain the importance of this market philosophies. So you had to write in one complete sentence regarding the importance of marketing philosophies. So here you can see in the question number 6, here the student has written the good explanation in about 3 lines, 3 to 4 lines, and the student has used about 6 words in a line. So 6 words in a line mean about 60, 24 or 25 words for 1 point. That is, I'm telling you. So 1 point should be explained in about 25 words. So that word limit you should keep in the mind. So if your explanation is correct, you will get full marks. Now coming to question number 7. Question number 7 is, give the constitution of the district consumer dispute redressal forum under Consumer Protection Act. Now it is 2019. So I have changed the year, and the constitution, that is the number of member, it has not got changed, whether it was 1986 Act or 2019 Act. So under district consumer redressal forum, there should be one president and 2 other members, and one of them should be a female. So you will get 1 mark if you write the correct answer. And now let's see how the topper has written the answer. This is question number 7, you can see. So the same meaning the student has written, and the student has got 1 mark. And now question number 8. In question number 8, here you can see buy one and get one is printed on the label of the package of the mosquito repellent. state the leveling function being performed by this statement. So leveling function is basically factor of the product mix, and you have to identify that what function of the leveling has been covered in this question. So the leveling function, it basically it helps in the promotion of the product. So if you write this the right heading, you will get full mark. So, and again you can see the word state is written. So state means you have to first identify the leveling function and then you have to explain. So half mark will be for identification of the function, and half mark will be for the explanation. Let's see how the student has written the question number 8. In question number 8, now you can see here he has written the same answer, that is product information, and the student has explained in the sufficient word limit. And now come to question number 9. In question number 9, the question is basically relating to a difference between the formal and informal organization, and the difference points or differences have also been given to you. And now some suggestion regarding such type of question. Whenever there is any question to differentiate the two concepts, then you have to prepare 3 columns. One column is for the basis, and you must write the basis, whether the bases are given in the question or not. And then the in second column, you have to write the first heading, and the third column, you have to write the second heading. So this way, by giving, by in the tabular form, you have to differentiate. And one more thing, you don't write just keywords only to differentiate. You need to explain well in the sentence form. So this way you will get full marks. So this question is carrying 3 marks, and this way you will find that half mark is for 1 point, and half plus half, that is 1 mark for one basis. And if you explain all 3 bases, then it will be 1 into 3, that is 3 marks. So let's see how the topper presented this answer. So here you can see the topper have presented the answer in the same way as the CBSE marking scheme has prescribed. And you can see how nicely the student have presented the answer, that after writing each point, the student had left 1 or 2 lines, so that a clarity in the written work can be possible, and the teacher can easily give the marks. And now after this, let's come to the next question, that is question number 10. Here, question is state the steps in the selection procedure after the employment interview and before the job offer. So for this, you can open the book and see what are the different steps after the employment interview. After the employment interview and before the job offer, there are 3 steps, that is reference and background check, selection decision, and the medical examination. So half mark is meant for writing the point and half mark for the explanation. This way you will get 1 into 3 marks. Now let's see how the topper has written this answer. So here you can see the topper has written the first these 3 steps, and after writing these 3 steps, he has the student has explained these points. So if you are writing the points, then was no need to write this point separately. Simply you could start writing the points and then explain. You can explain in the paragraph form, or you can explain the points in the pointer form. So it depends upon you. And you can see these 3 steps have been explained, and after each step you can see the 2 lines have been left, and after writing each heading, the student has again left 1 line, so that proper explanation can easily be seen and understood by the paper examiner. Now let's move to the next question. And one more thing that is printed in this document, that if you don't follow the order as per the process, then out of total 3 marks, a half mark may be deducted. And now coming to question number 11, let's read question first. Question is, there are so many theories in the styles of influence the people's behavior. Identify the style used by Sandhya, which is based on the use of the authority. So here you have to identify the style of leadership. So there are three types of style of leadership. You have to just identify. You have not been asked to explain it. Then you have to write the two positive aspects of the communication discussed above, which Sandhya is using as an intelligent manager. So we are not going through the entire question, just having the look at the key lines. She encourages them to set their own objectives and take decisions. So this line belongs to your democratic style of leadership. So answer to first question, democratic style. And then the positive aspect of the communication she uses. She also makes use of positive aspects of informal communication. It means informal communication is given to you. You have to write the two positive aspects, that is two benefits of the informal communication. So you will write the style of leadership, you will get 1 mark for it. And after that, you will write the two positive, that is the two benefits of the informal communication. And for one, each positive aspect, you will get 1 mark. And for 2 points, you will get 2 marks. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 marks. Let's see how the topper has written the answer. That is question number 11. In question number 11, you can see first, the topper has mentioned the style of leadership, and he or she has not explained, that was not required. And then two positive expert. This positive expert have been explained about 30 words each, 25 to 30 words. So this word limit has to be followed throughout the paper. Now next, question number 12. In question number 12, here this question is from the financial management. Here you can see what's the question, and it's a very small question. The return on investment of company ranges between 10 to 12% of the past 3 years. To finance its future fixed capital need, it has the following options for borrowing debt. So ROI is between 10 to 12%, and the company wants to raise fund from the debt component. And option one is that borrowing money under option A is carrying rate of interest 9%, and under option B, the rate of interest is 13%. So we should know that if we have to avail the funds from the debt component, in that case, in order to provide the benefit for the company and to the equity shareholder, the ROI must be more than the rate of interest. So you have been asked that which option is better. Definitely where the ROI is more than the rate of interest, that option would be accepted. So here option A will be suitable and it will be accepted. So here are three different questions. Which source of debt, option A or option B is better? So option A is better. That's the first question. Second question is, give reason in support of your answer. The reason for opting option A is that ROI is more than the rate of interest on the debt. Question number 3 is also state the concept that is being used in taking the decision. So whenever the funds are raised through debt component and ROI is more than the rate of interest, then the benefit goes to the equity shareholder, that their earning per share tend to increase. So the concept involved in this case is basically trading on equity. So if you write these three answers, you will get 1 mark for each answer. Now let's see how the topper has written this answer. Here you can see question number 12. First answer, student has given the option A, and then the student has defined the reason. 2 points have the student has written, and then the concept involved trading equity. So this way, these three different questions have been given, and the paper evaluator has given 1 mark for each answer on the right hand side, and the sum of these 3 marks has been written on the left hand side by encircling the marks. Now let's move to the next question, that is question number 13. Briefly explain the 2 points of importance of consumer protection. Here you have to write 2 points of importance. First of all, we will see that whether it is carrying 3 marks or 4 marks. It is carrying 3 marks. It means half mark for writing the point and 1 mark will be for the explanation. So any 2 points of importance of consumer protection from the point of business you have to write. So after you, now let's see how this topper has given the answer. Here you can see the topper has written the point, and then after that he or she has left one line, and then in about 30 words each point has been explained. So all these any 2 points have been explained, and this way the evaluator has given her a half mark for each point, half mark for point and 1 mark for the explanation. Now let's move to the question number 14. First we read the question. From the above information, identify the organizational structure by Yamco Limited. So you have to just identify the organizational structure. You know, we have the two type of organizational structure. Number one is functional structure and number two is divisional structure. So first you have to identify, and then after the identification, you have to write the 3 benefits. It means this question must be for 4 marks. You can see. So 1 mark will be for writing the structure. So let's see some key lines to identify. Aradhana and Gandhari are two heads of two different departments of Yamco Limited. So first line itself is telling the information about the type of structure, that is functional structure. You know, under the functional structure, we have the different functional heads or departments. So answer to first question is functional structure. And then after that, you have to write 3 advantages of the functional structure. So first point is carrying 1 mark to just to write the function structure, and then you have to write the advantages. How you should write? You should write by first writing the heading and then explain in about 25 words. Let's see how the topper has it. So one more thing you need to keep in the mind, that this CBSE marking scheme is not giving the full length explanation, because these are the just key points. But from the student, it is expected that they will use the sufficient word limit. So now let's see how the topper has written the answer. First, he has given the answer in functional structure, and then the student has written the benefits. First one is occupational specialization, then training, and then control and coordination. So just maintain the consistency of word limit in about 25 words to 30 words for each point. And now let's come to the next question. And one more thing you can keep in your mind, that if you are given the heading but you are not given the explanation, in this question you would throughout the paper, whenever you write the heading, half mark is given, and if you give the explanation, then the marks as per explanation will be given to you. And now question number 15, let's see the question first. What's the question? The above case highlights the features of one of the functions of the management by quoting the line from the above, identify and explain these features. So first you have to identify one of the function of the management. So we know we have the 5 functions. So after you read the question, you will find the function is planning. And then you have to write the features of planning. And let's see how many marks this question is meant for. This is 4 marks. It means 1 mark will be for writing the head by quoting the lines. So here basically you have to write 4 features. And in all these 4 features, first you have to identify the feature, and you have to quote the line, and after quoting the line, then you have to explain if it is asked. Yes. So here, now let's see how the topper has given this answer. So answer to this question is, number 1 is planning. Number first point he has written the setting objective. and the student has spotted the line. If the line is too lengthy, then you don't need to read the entire line. You can just simply use first 4 to 5 words and then you put dot, dot, dot. So that will also be sufficient. And then explain. So first point, now come to the second point. The second point is planning futuristic, and then the lines have been quoted, and then explanation. Third point and fourth point similar on the similar pattern. And now let's come to the next question. Here in this question, which we have discussed, that is half mark for the quoting the line for identification, including quoting the line, and half mark for the explanation. And now question number 16, explain any 4 points of importance of controlling. So again, the bifurcation of the marks would be half mark for the heading and half mark for the explanation in about 25 words. So any 4 point you need to write. Here, the student has given 4 headings through diagram, and then the student has explained all these 4 points of importance. So first, again, he has written the point and explained, and this way all the 4 points have been explained by the student. So half mark for heading and half mark for the explanation. And then now come to question number 17. In the question number 17, let's see what is the first question. The first question is identify the incentive provided by the Good Care Hospital. And second question is which need of the doctor will be satisfied through the incentive identified in part A statement explained. So in the first point, you just have to identify. If you identify the incentive, then you will get 1 full mark. It means there is no need to explain. And in the second part, you have to identify the need which is satisfied, and again, and then you have to explain. So half mark for the identification of need and half mark for the explanation. That is 1 mark plus 1 mark, 2 mark. And on the third point, you have to write state any 2 values. So identification of value is not now, it's not in the syllabus now. So we will discuss only first 2 questions of this question. And now let's see how the student has written the answer. You can see this answer. Incentive provided is non-financial incentive, and that and the type is also given, that is employee recognition program. So you will mainly get the marks for writing the name of the incentive, that is employee recognition program, and that come under the type, that is financial incentive. So you will get half mark for writing the type and a half mark writing the name. So this way you will get 1 mark. And the need satisfied is a esteem need, half mark for writing esteem need and then explanation. So this way you will get 2 marks for first 2 questions. Now let's move to the next question. Next question number 18, state the protective functions of Securities Exchange Board of India. How many functions you have to write? It is not mentioned. So just you have to see the marks of the question. The marks of the question is 4 marks. It means you have to write 4 functions of the protective functions of the Securities Exchange Board of India. Let's see how the answer has been written by the topper. So here you can see the topper has given the 4 functions, and the student has not given the heading, but heading has been highlighted. So if you highlight the heading, it will also be acceptable, but it is always suggested that the first you write the heading and then explain. So half mark for heading and half mark explanation into 4 marks, or otherwise 1 mark for 1 point by highlighting the keywords into 4 marks. And now let's come to the question number 19. Under question number 19, the question is state the responsibility which Sumit has to fulfill as an aware customer to get the service of the company. So you have to identify the responsibility for this. You have to go through the question, and then you have to explain the 2 rights which Sumit could have exercised had he fulfilled his responsibility as a different party. So for answering this question, you have to go through the entire case study. And let's see how many marks are there. The 4 marks are there. That is first part, 1 mark for stating the responsibility, and then 3 marks will be left. So then you have to identify two rights, half mark for identification of right, and 1 mark for the explanation into two, that is 3 marks. Let's see how the student has written the answer. Here you can see the responsibility he had to fulfill is he should read the label and use the product according to the instruction given in the manual. So this is basically the responsibility which has been mentioned on the basis of case study. And the rights, there are two rights, right to be heard, and then it has been explained after leaving 2 lines. And second right to seek redressal. So let's see what the CBSE has suggested. CBSE has suggested the same rights, that is right to be heard and the right to seek redressal. Okay, so now this way this question is complete, and this is basically the signature of the examiner with the examiner number. And now come to the next question. Come question number 20. What is the meaning of coordination, and state any 4 features? It means this question must be for 5 marks. 1 mark for writing the meaning of coordination, and 4 marks for writing any 4 features. Okay, so this way 5 marks. So again, the same parameter to write the answer. First, you write the meaning of coordination, that you will get 1 mark, and then you write 4 feature, half mark for writing one heading, and half mark for the explanation. So this way, the students are given the sufficient word limit and completed the answer. And now coming to the question number 21. There are 25 total questions. Question here is identify the state of feature the concept discussed in the above paragraph. You have to identify the feature of the concept. First of all, you need to know the concept, and then you have to write the feature. And then after that, you have to write 4 points of importance of this concept. So first you have to identify, if you go through this question, you will find that the concept is basically the business environment, or the name of the chapter business environment. From the business environment, you have to identify the feature. So in the first part, you will identify the feature and then state with meaning. So you will give the meaning in about 25 words. This way you will get half mark for writing the feature and half mark for writing the explanation. And then you have to write 4 points of importance of this concept. That is, concept mean business environment. So write any 4 feature, half mark for each heading and half mark for the explanation. So the marking will remain same as we have been mentioning in the previous question. So here you can see that how the student has given the answer. The student has presented the points in a tableau form, and then one by one the student have written the answer. So the student has given the point and then explained in about 25 to 30 words. And now after this, we shall move to the next question. Question 22. In question 22, first point is identify the concept, and then explain any 4 factors discussed in the above related to the concepts identified. So first part is identification concept. If you go through the question, you will find the concept involved is pricing. So you will get 1 mark for writing the concept, that is pricing. So there is no need to explain because it has not been asked. And then you will write any 4 factors. So here you will find half mark for heading and half mark for the explanation, same pattern as we have been discussed. So let's see how the student has given the answer. Here, student has written the concept is price mix, and the student has given the 4 factors. So this way you can see the student has given the answer in good details. You can see here, first factor, he has explained the product cost and given the sufficient explanation, and so student has again given the detailed classification of the product cost into 3 parts: fixed cost, variable cost, and the semi-variable cost. And then the student has explained the rest of the 3 points. And now after this is basically the evaluator has written the extra written, and Though there are 4 points but to be written, and the student has written the 4 point, but one suggestion to you is that never write any extra point. If you write any extra point, then desired, then you will get no mark. That will be purely wastage of your time. So just be limit to the number of points asked in the question. And now let's come to the question number 23. In question number 23, here you can read the question, identify and explain the principles. Principles, it means there are more than one principle. And technique, it means there should be one technique. Or the scientific management followed by the production manager in the above case. So you have to identify more than one principle, and let's see what is the marks. Marks are 6 marks. It means there could be two principles and one technique, and one principle and technique may be carrying 2 marks each. Half mark will be for the identification, and 1.5 mark will be for the explanation. So here, if you will go through the case study, you will find the principles are science, not rule of thumb. Just write it and explain in about 25 to 30 words. And the second principle, development of each and every person. Then again, you will get half mark for writing this heading and 1.5 mark for explanation. And the technique is a method study. You will find from the case itself and then explain. Now let's see how the topper has written this answer. You can see the topper has given the same answer, science, not rule of thumb, and then explain. And then after that, student given development of each and every person to the greatest efficiency and then explain in detail. Whenever the question is of 5 marks and 6 marks, you should increase the word limit. So so you know that in the 6 marks there are 3 points. It means in the 6 marks you have to write about 200 words. It means if we divide 200 by 3, it means about 66 words. So 6 to 7 lines should be used in order to explain one point. This word limit should be kept in the mind. So if you are not using the appropriate word limit, your marks may be curtailed, because you can't use the same word limit that is for the 3 marks as for the 6 marks. So word limit has to be maintained appropriately as per the marks in the question. And now let's move to the next question, that 24th question. In 24th question, you can see the question is name the step of the staffing process regarding which the company decided to take action. So if you go through the case study, you will find the step is training and the development. So after you just write, don't need to explain because it has not been asked, you will get the 1 mark. And it has been mentioned that as per the marking scheme, that if the student writes only the training or only the development, the half mark will may be deducted. So the complete step is training and development as per the NCERT, and then you have to state the benefits of the action to the Moga Industries Limited. So you have to write the benefits of training to the company itself. So it must be for 6 marks. So 1 mark will be for writing the step, and then you have to write 5 benefits. Again, you just write the heading and then explain. So one heading will be carrying half mark and half mark for the explanation. So you can see the student has given the benefits. In any case, if you don't find the heading, then you can simply explain, but it is always suggested that students should always write the heading first, or otherwise highlight the heading. And now this way you can see there are 5 benefits have been written, and student got 5 marks for this. And now question 25, the last question of this paper. Explain briefly any 4 factors affecting the fixed capital requirement. So question is for 6 marks and only 4 factors have been asked. It means one factor will be carrying 1.5 mark. So half mark will be for writing the heading and 1 mark will be for the explanation. So the explanation to word 1 point should be in about 50 words, because this question was 6 mark. And the word limit for 6 marks is 200 words. 200 divided by 4, that is 50 words. So each point should be explained in about 50 words. It means so 5 lines or 50 words should be used in order to explain 1 point. Let's see how the topper has given the answer. Here you can see the topper has given the factors in the tableau form, this diagram, and then each factor has been explained so nicely. So first heading and then proper explanation. So this way the student has got 80 out of 80 full marks. So this was all the presentation of the different type of answers, and this was the one of the best answer sheet I could find. I have so many other answer sheets. So I will also upload other answer sheets in the description, and I hope this video must be very much useful to decide how you should write the different type of question as per their marks and as per the requirement in the CBSE. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video and write your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much.